notify bell so that way us as a startup can keep delivering this content to you. So today we have a unusual sell-off. I will say that this would be categorized as unusual. Let's go out to the 45-minute chart, and a lot of the other videos are kind of back testing and stuff like that, shorter time frames, stuff like that. But you can see that this sell signal here, it was just crazy, right? Like we didn't get our continuation signal just yet, but look how long the market's been running for. Look how many points the Nasdaq's been running for, right? All the way since down here, right? So about 15,000, and really started to get wild. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, so we have today, Wednesday the 20th, we get our buy signal, and then out of nowhere, we get our huge sell off. Right now, I don't care if this is because of news, whatever it might be. I'm a technical quantitative trader. I go by probabilities, back testing, like you can see in our other videos, how to beat the stock market, how to outperform the S&P 500. Those are the core tenets of what has led, me and us to create happytrader.io for you, the retail traders. So going back to the 5-minute chart, you can see that we did have some, just crazy amounts of selling off. Now, there's good news and there's bad news here. I mean, the bad news is that if you're holding long only and, we kind of bought up off the bell, traded sideways, and then bang, dumped, right? You're going to take a little bit of a beating there. Now, the good news is, the market should recover, but there's a little bit more bad news in that the market's been running pretty much nonstop for like, months now, right? So it's been for the most part up, and this year it's been up tremendously. So what we're gonna do is just show you the difference between seeing what's happening after the fact and having a signal telling you that that sell signal and that trend is reversing. So I'm just going to toggle that off again and put it right back on. And you can see that as soon as we hit this level, we had criteria set 1 fall into place. That gave us our trend reversal signal. And then our trading signal, which is our downtrend, popped up immediately after. Now, something I preach in all of the other videos, and most of the other videos pertaining to strategy, pertaining to signals in happytrader.io, our indicator is that the closer the downtrend signal is to the sell signal, or vice versa, with the buy signal, as you can see here, the buy signal is literally behind this uptrend signal. So that means that we had extraordinarily heavy buying off the open, and then it just kind of stalled out. Now, and here's the other thing is we had a flattening out of our Illuma trend, right? So that's why we have Illuma trend, and you don't need to use it. We're still going to plot the lines regardless, but if you have a flattening out on your Illuma trend, and then you get a sell signal and then a subsequent downtrend signal that's this close to that sell, well, that's good for, at least for me, to put either selling call options. If I'm selling options premium, probably not what I would do in this type of bull market scenario. You can get really caught up on the call side, especially in moves like this where they can retrace all the way back. But to have this downtrend signal so close to this sell signal really showed that there was some amplitude involved with the move, as was the case with the opening move. I mean, this opening move shot up, 66 points, or more, right, from the overnight session, from the pre-market, which is just flat. You can see the pre-market's normally flat. We went up on the open, right, straight up almost, and then we had our flattening out, and then whoop, buy. So that's kind of how it goes. Now, if we go out to like longer time frame charts, you can see that Happy Trader still picks up. Its signals, they're just going to look different because, they backtest different, and the criteria sets are going to be different for the trading signals depending on what ticker you're using. But let's go ahead and look at maybe another, let's look at like Apple and see what happened there. So we have just a little blip in the selling on Apple, right? So let's go to the 5-minute chart there. And we can see that we did have a similar setup. So we had our sell signal and then we had our downtrend signal. Let's check out Tesla. And you can see that that one's a lot more volatile. So you can see right there illustrated is, the NQ index, the Nasdaq is going to be, a higher volatility index than the S&P 500, than Apple, than Microsoft. Those are going to have lower implied volatility, whereas with Tesla, with the NQ, with the MNQ, anything, the NDX index, anything Nasdaq or big tech related is going to tend to have a higher implied volatility, and therefore the moves are going to be a lot crazier, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But you can see that Tesla also had a huge sell-off. I mean, look at that, from 256 at the start of this. Let's go immediately to the move, like 257, let's say, down to like 247, like 10 points. That's crazy for Tesla intraday, right? Now we're used to seeing gap ups and gap downs overnight. That happens all the time. But today is an unusual, to me, being somebody who looks at the markets every day. I don't get stirred up over moves very often, but this looks like a peculiar either tax harvesting type of move, or it just could just be just a sell off because of news, right? We don't know. So anyway, it's getting bought back up. This is a buy the dip market, and people are looking for a discount. Also, you have to remember that institutional buying is going to be done in large part on discounts. So if the prevailing trend, if we go out to the 1 hour chart, is still an uptrend, and let's just kind of get a better idea. You can see the calendar days here at the bottom for December. We're just going to shrink this all down and kind of see what we're working with. There's eventually going to be a consolidation when you're coming off of, 15,000 up to 17,000, and you're pretty much going straight up, right? So you're going to have some sort of sell off. Now, is it going to retrace all the way down? Is it going to, break some of these levels and then maybe, fully double bottom here? Who knows? Maybe this is just the end of the Santa rally. Maybe that was it. We don't know. We can't speculate. What I like to do, I'm not going to tell you how to trade, but what I like to do in situations like this is do checks on the market. Make sure, if all the indexes are down, handily, like you can see all three are down here. You can see big tech looks down, and then we get a downtrend signal. Well, I'm going to try to a stab at a short. That's going to be, you know, when we have this type of scenario happening, that's when I'm going to take a stab at a short, and I might put a stop above the level. I might use a hedging technique like call options to hedge against that short position. But you have to remember, and you can see the VIX is very elevated. 9% elevated means something significant has occurred, right? You can see crypto, though, oddly enough, kind of hanging on, and that's a little funky, right? So all in all, looks like a good short trade. And if we go back out to that 1 hour chart, the way I like to trade is just with the market, right? So to answer, and kind of complete that concept of what do I do when I see these big dips? Well, really just go with the market. And if you think that it's maybe too late in the day, like right now we're pushing 3:20 p.m. We only have a little while longer for the market to be open. Maybe stay out of the market. Maybe that's what I like to do, is stay out of the market, right? So, what I can say is that this uptrend, this macro uptrend, you can see on the 1 hour chart where we had a buy signal and then we had our uptrend signal very quickly thereafter and just absolutely ripped pretty much through the entire month of December. You're going to end up with some consolidation, but overall, it is a bull market. We are bullish. The market has gone up this year. We're not trying to predict what the market is going to do, but our indicator gives us criteria that helps us kind of go from this, where you can't tell what's happening, to this, where you can actually see, okay, we have some serious amplitude here. Maybe we want to buy some calls. Maybe we want to sell some puts, stuff like that. So, or just buy stock or just paper trade, whatever way you want to learn, using happytrader.io. But this is going to give you that, heads up, something's about to go down type of thing. And you can really see that demonstrated just on this 5-minute chart. And, stretching that out, you can see that this was a big move. So intraday, huge move. Wanted to just get on and chat about that and just show that Happy Trader did pick this move up. If you had alerts set and you were a Happy Trader subscriber and you just simply had your favorite ticker up, works for all tickers and time frames, set once per bar, once per minute, and you just had your sentiment AI and sentiment AI, sell and buy signals. Your buy and sell signals here are going to be these ones here, your trend reversals. You would actually get an alert sent to your device, to your app, to your email, whatever you prefer, or just play a handbell sound or whatever sound you'd like. And that would have alerted you about this move in progress, right? And you would have had the opportunity, because we all know the market will make a sudden move, kind of retrace that move, etc. And then you would have had a chance to make a determination based on doing a quick market check, seeing that all three indexes have dumped, seeing that the VIX has spiked quite a bit, but looking at crypto and saying, hey, it's still kind of hanging on a little bit. Well, maybe this is where institutions are going to be loading up for the new year. And it's hard to know. But what you can know is that when you look at our uptrend and downtrend signals on our back testing in our other videos, you can be sure that we're outperforming the market with the Nasdaq. So this is my preferred signal or preferred ticker to trade with these signals. It's just really volatile. It has a lot more movement than the S&P 500. Now, slow and steady, Eddie, if that's the way you want to go, that is just fine. There's nothing wrong with the S&P 500. I don't know if you've heard of Warren Buffett, but the S&P 500 is a bet that he won. And, really, he has always said, just put the money into the S&P 500, and it outperforms pretty much everything. For instance, in the last 3 years, believe it or not, you can look this up on Bloomberg today, actually, I saw, the S&P 500 has outperformed Tesla over the past 3 years. So if you can believe that, you can see just how far we've come with the S&P 500 and how resilient that basket of 500 stocks is. So, when you're looking at the Nasdaq 100, you're looking at big tech. That's going to just be a smaller basket of really volatile stocks, but you can get a ton of movement, and that's why I like to trade the Nasdaq. I'm going to leave it right there. Again, this is Ryan from Happy Trader. Be safe, keep your eye on the market, and happy trading.